Teddy, we are waiting for your colleagues to come in. So let's have some few minutes. We have a quorum so that we can continue. Yes, Nazim, we are still waiting for your colleagues to come in. Yes, Richard, we're waiting for your colleagues to come in so that we can proceed the class. I hope this forum is, we are getting a quorum so that we can proceed. So I'm giving 1 minute so that we can proceed. Thank you for your coming back. We need to proceed. All right. I was waiting for the quorum so that we can proceed. So I believe now the quorum is there. We can still proceed. I believe you are hearing me clearly. Kindly confirm so that we can proceed. We only have about 40 minutes. So let us utilize the minutes and learn something. So kindly confirm if you are hearing me so that I can proceed. So this time I would like to move on to another type of multiple way selection called switch statement. Switch statement. Okay. We also have another way to do multiple selections. And by that we mean we have several conditions, and those several conditions can be achieved using what we call switch case statement in C++. So as a learner, you are supposed to know how you can be able to come up with a program that will implement the use of switch case statement. So without wasting time, let's look at the program that I'll be explaining so that you can be able to catch up. So we are saying that using switch case statement in C++, write a program that will ask the user to enter the student score then the program displays the grade awarded and the score entered. So assuming this is the problem you're having, and we are going to use it for our understanding. So let's go direct to the program and be concept using the program that I'm going to explain. I do believe that the program that is appearing on the screen is visible to all of us. I'm assuming that the program is visible. You can see it on your side. If you can see it on your side, good and better. And if in case you are not seeing, please kindly let me know. Are you able to read the program? Okay. Again, I said again, I'll never stop repeating. But for now, I'll be faster in the area that I covered initially so that we don't waste a lot of time. So for us to use a switch case statement, we have to start as normal. We must have a building blocks of our program. We must have a header file. So we channel include EO stream, and then we must have the namespace standard to enable us to get the file input output stream. Then we must start our main function, which is the int main. Then we are going to start the body of our main function, and inside the body we are going to declare a local variable. For your information, local variables are declared within a function. And initially we said that we can have several functions in a program. So you may ask a question, then what are the global variables? Global variables, they are the ones that are declared above the int main keyword. For example, you could have declared int score above int main, meaning that the several functions that can exist in this program can be able to see this function called int score. We'll be talking about functions in the later times, so I wanted you to get the meaning of a local variable, a variable that has been declared inside the body of the main function, and instead you can see the curly bracket marks the opening of the body of the main function. And here we are going to declare the variable score. Then we'll ask the user to enter the score, and then we use this variable identifier score to take it to the computer memory. Then we are going to test the condition. Now this is the most simplest way of doing multiple selection. So for us to use the switch selection, we use the keyword switch. We are going to use the keyword switch. So switch, what is it telling us? In this particular point, switch marks the beginning of the multiple selection. Rather, marks the beginning of testing the condition. Switch is a keyword that is used now to bring in the value that has been entered and stored in the computer memory using a particular variable. Like in this case, we use score. And then switch must be accompanied with an opening and closing normal bracket. Opening and closing normal what? Bracket. Then in it, you put in the variable that you use to store the value to be compared and then given a given action compared and then tested and then an action is taken. I'm sorry that this is a type mismatch. I'd not change this. This is supposed to be score, so not grade but score. Because the reason why is because we have declared our variable as score, and we have asked the user to enter the score, and we have used the variable score identifier score to store the data into our computer RAM. So what are we comparing here? We are actually testing the score. So it will be switch open bracket score close bracket. So what are we saying? We now put this particular score into a scope of testing it. Now after that, a switch statement must be opened. A switch statement as a body. Kindly note that. It's very important. A switch statement must be opened with a curly bracket. Then inside there now, this is the point you put what we call now the multiple conditioning testing. So for us to achieve the multiple conditioning testing inside the switch body, we used a keyword case. So case will be linked with the condition. Like at the moment, we are saying case if the condition, if the value entered is between 80 and 100. And how is this achieved? Look at the scenario. For us to give the range, we normally give the value that we are starting from, then we use three dots, all full stops, and then we give our maximum value where we are reaching. So the three dots marks the range which we are comparing. That is in C++. There must be three dots. So we are saying case 80, 3 up to 100. Then if that is the case, you will put a full colon. You can see there's a full colon after the maximum limit of the range. Then you give out your result. Like now here, we are simply displaying the word distinction. That will be a message. So we shall say C out. And then this one, we use what we call, these are called operators, the insertion operator. Then we display the word distinction, and then again another insertion operator. We take the cursor down because of the end L keyword, and then we encounter the statement break. Break also in semicolon. Now the question comes in: what is the purpose of break? Break is a very important key in a case statement because it will enable the program to, after displaying, to come out of the switch statement so that it will ignore if that is the case. Like now, if for example you entered 90 and then this 90, it will be tested in case 1 whereby the range is between 8 and 100, and it will be found to be true. Then it will come here, the program will display that. After displaying, and then it will encounter the keyword break, and this keyword will communicate with this particular a program execution or the compiler that you should come out of the switch because you have found the answer. So the break takes the flow of the program outside the switch body. So once a break is encountered, the program will come down. It will ignore other case statement, and it will come down here. That means it will not come to the second case, nor the third case, nor the fifth case, nor the default case. That is the purpose of break. Otherwise, if you remove the breaks from this program, all of them, if you remove the break, what will happen is that it will display distinction. It will go down again, flowing like that, displaying the rest until the end, and that program will not make sense. It will not give you the right answer. So break keyword within a case statement is very, very important. Then again, initially I said about system pause. System pause, which is actually in bracket, and then inside the bracket you have the double quote, and then closing the bracket, the semicolon. Normally this is used to enable the result to remain on the screen of your computer for the purpose of viewing, so that the user can see the result until that user can press any key on the keyboard. And once the user presses the key on the keyboard, actually what happens is that the output screen will actually disappear from the screen. And mostly some of the compilers nowadays, they can enable their what we call automatic display. So this is optional. You can do with it or without it, because in some cases when you compile and run the program will give you an output, and that output will remain on the screen without necessarily putting this keyword system pause. So this is an optional. Then if, for example, you had your score was, let's say, let's say 70. So it will be compared here, and then it will be found that it's not conforming. It's not conforming with this case. So what happens? The program will not go into the case. It will go to the next inside the case, but it will go outside and check the second case. So again, it is finding that 70 is in between 60 to 79. So it will come down and display the credit, and again for the user to see the result, and again encountering the break, the program will stop and the flow will come out of the switch statement. It will come down here. So the process will continue. If you put something like 45, so again 45 will come compared here. It will be found not to be conforming. It will go down, then get compared here. It will be found not conforming again on the 60 to 79. It comes down to 41 to 50. Then it will find, yes, this is actually the right. This value is in between here. Then it will come and display C out. That's a pass, and then the result will be remain on the screen. And once you press the keyword, any key on the keyboard, the break statement will be found, and this will unify the program that you have found the answer come out of the switch statement, and then the flow will come out to this particular statement. Remember, the body of the switch statement is closed here. This body is closed here, so that you can see that. Then again, if you enter something like, let's say we enter score which is maybe 20, let's say 29, it will still be subjected to the case. Case 8 to 100, no, it cannot fit there. Case 60 to 79 cannot fit there. Case 41 to 59 cannot fit there. And then case 0 to 29, that's right, it's fitting here. That means now we can come inside this case statement, and then we display fail. Again, we break and then come out of the switch statement and be able to display this particular score that has been given here. Then there is the keyword default. Remember, initially when we were talking about else if statement, else if, we were to wind up with the else statement. So also the case statement must be terminated with, sorry, the switch statement must be terminated with the default keyword. The default keyword is mainly to tell or communicate to the compiler that anything that is not agreeing with this range that has been given here, then that will be wrong. Let's say, for example, our range starts from 100 going up to 0, and you give a mark which is 1, 1. That will be an invalid mark. So this default normally caters for any wrong entry. Let's say, for example, in your entered score attained, you decide to put a value which is above, which is actually above 100, then it will be an invalid value, and it will be captured here because the case will go comparing through, and it will find that this value is not here, and then when it comes to the default, because this is the last part of it, it will give us a message that this is not the right value entered, so it's a invalid score. And finally, again, you can see it on the screen. And then after this, you must close the body of the switch statement, and then finally close the body of after. Before you close the body, we want you to display the score that was entered. It's important. Again, remember I said initially this was an error. Instead of using the word grade here, we are supposed to use the word score because it's the one we declared here. If we were to use grade, then we must declare is as grade. So this is just an error. So here we are supposed to have score, and even here we are supposed to actually your mark is, it should be score because it was declared as score as our variable identifier that it was being used to store the mark. And eventually you will be given the grade and the score, because the grade, if it's 80 for example, it will be a distinction, and then also this message will give us the value your mark is maybe 80. And then again we would like people to see your system post, and then finally we communicate to our operating system that this program has run successfully, and indeed we close the main function. To repeat, after entering the mark, we use the switch statement to bring in the score that has been entered, and then in the bracket we use the variable that we use to store the mark, like now scope. Then the switch statement is broken down by the case statements. Case now give us the specific range we are trying to compare. In this case, we are saying if the mark that was entered is between 80 to 100. An important point to note, there are three dots or three full stop. These are used to give us the range from a particular number to a particular number in C++. Other programming languages have different syntax. Like now in Pascal, we could have used two dots, but in C++ we use three dots. So this gives us the range. And if that mark which was entered is between 100 and 80, then this message will be actually display the distinction. Another key point that you need to know, break statement in the case statement normally used to enable the flow of the program to come out of the switch when an answer is found. Actually, this will cause the program to stop working on the subsequent case that are below, but come out of the switch statement because the answer has been found, and then just below the switch statement, and in case there's a display, it will display what is remaining and then stop. I hope that I'm clear on this explanation, and if there's any clarification that you want, and because this is the first time I'm explaining this switch statement, I will actually encourage chat. Please chat so that we can be able to see whether we have understood anything or we are progressively trying to understand this particular concept of switch. Please are open or any questions. Don't shy, don't fear. Give us any question that you think you are not understanding so that we can actually be able to digest and understand this concept of switch case statement. I welcome the chat. If you have a microphone, kindly switch it on and let us also talk in a moment. Oh, good, Richard. You're trying to understand. That's fine. Very good. Very good answer. You are trying to. Very okay. I'm sure all of you are trying to understand. Uh-huh. Let's engage ourselves. Let's communicate to each other. Let's engage ourselves. Chat. Just don't ignore anything that you have not understood. Kindly, you can public chat with me so that the rest can see. You can also open your mic and you will talk to us. Plus, silence means what? Am I alone? Kindly let me know. Chat. I will expect you to chat. Now, maybe I can now go looking for each of you. Anne, Kelvin, Doreen, Evans, Grace, Maraga, Naresha, Nazim, that's Ahmed, Owido, Richard, Ted, and Vanessa Chino. Kindly let me hear from your public chat whether you are following this concept that we are working on at the moment. Yes, you are too silent. You are too silent. Okay, window is clear. Thank you. So maybe can you all of us confirm so that we can see whether we proceed or not? Vanessa, you are typing. You can see that. Maraga is typing. Understood. Good. Ateno. Okay. Very well. Maraga. Understood. Nazim. Very good. That's good. Yes. We are waiting for the rest so that we can proceed. Grace. Where are you, Evans? Doreen. Teddy. Amundi. Okay. Grace. Okay. That's understood. All right. All right. Doreen understood. Naresha, where are you? Teddy is about to. I'll continue here, Teddy. All right. and Kelvin somewhere there. So Naresh and Kelvin, I need your confirmation. It's important. We need your confirmation so that they can proceed. Yes, Kelvin, are you getting? And Naresh, are you getting? I hope so. Maybe they have a communication breakdown. Oh, yeah, you're getting me. Okay. All right. You're typing. All right. We only have actual 20 minutes. You'll have to enable me to proceed. Okay. Now, Kelvin is yet to confirm, but I can still proceed. Now, this will mark the end of this particular selection concept, but that does not mean the end of live in selection. I'll be giving you a lot of discussions, questions. I'll also be giving you quizzes that you will be doing. Everyone's also coming in. That will enable you proceed and understand and master the concept fully. So for now, I have only about actually 10 minutes or so to introduce you another concept which is very important in also in C++, and this will requires also our super mind. I'll simply do the introduction and then we'll pick up from there. So allow me to change to the next topic, which is inheritance. For now, I believe the other one is all right. We want to understand another concept that is important for us. We normally call the what we call the features of object-oriented programming. Features of object-oriented programming. So our next topic, I believe you are seeing on the screen, will be based on what we call inheritance. Before I proceed, I would like you to know that object-oriented programming came up because of about 5 major building blocks. They are actually called features of object-oriented programming. And they include what we call polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance, abstraction, data hiding, and information hiding. These terms are technical, but as I continue teaching you one by one, I am very sure you're going to understand. Okay, we know you cannot hear me. All right, maybe check your mic. I can see your mic as a challenge. I believe the rest, are you able to hear me clearly? Kindly want to confirm whether you can hear me so that I can tell. Richard, you can mute your mic. Richard, mute your mic. Richard, you can mute your mic. Oh, good God. Oh, this is Owino, sorry. Owino, mute your mic. Owino, you can mute your mic. Oh. I think the reason why you are not hearing, Owino, mute your mic. Owino, you can mute your mic. Yes, I think that's a challenge you're having. All right, the rest I believe you are clear. Owino will try to mute his mic. That's okay. I think now, Owino, can you confirm you're hearing me? Owino, actually, if Owino can mute your mic, it will be okay for us. Mute your mic because we are getting a lot of echo, so we cannot be able to proceed well. All right, fine. Now I want to proceed. As I was saying, I've mentioned very technical terms that might scare you. Please, these terms are a part of your life because you are now an object-oriented programmer. And as I said initially, These terms will be used in writing your programs, and I want to tell you that these are the terms or the features that has enabled us, all the world of programming worldwide, to embrace object-oriented programming. And that's why you find most of our systems are created using programming languages like C++, Java, because they embrace what we call the features that I've mentioned. That is encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, data abstraction, data or information hiding. So today, I only want to start introducing one of the very important feature of object-oriented programming, which is referred to as inheritance. So we are going to look at it in relation to C++. That's why I've just said inheritance in C++. So the question comes in, who are the people supposed to learn the inheritance in programming? So all of you are eligible because you are computer scientists, you are information technology experts, you are programmers, students. Some of you are doing electronics. Some of you are aspiring to become system analysts in the future, because I know in your course you've been dealing with system analysis and design. So basically, uh, all of you fit, and this is why we are just mentioning the people who are supposed to understand the term inheritance and they be able to write a program based on that. So what are the main advantages of this inheritance we are trying to learn about? I've just mentioned some of them here. They are quite a number, but I still mention and give some insight about the following that you are seeing on the screen. One is inheritance supports what we call code reusability. I'm sure at the moment you're wondering what is code reusability. Normally, a program which is efficient must be very short, should be not a long program, and it should have what you call the building blocks that can be reused. Java and C++ will enable you to write a program that has, if I want to explain it in an easier way for you to understand, that will have, for example, variables. These variables will be declared once, but they can be used by several functions or classes or pieces of code without repeating them. And this will save a lot of time because the program will be written once, have about for example, 4 variables, and these 4 variables can be shared amongst 20 pieces of code. So the variables will be reused, and this will save time and space. I am explaining it from the programmer's understanding level, and I'm sure at the moment you are still wondering what is Malim talking about. As you are going to write a program, you'll be able to understand the meaning of code reusability, and I'm giving you the explanation based on variables. That in a program where variables will be declared once and then they can be used in several functions or classes. And if you are keen, you have heard me mentioning the word class. The word class is very important in writing a program that is going to use what we call inheritance. Since we started our learning, we have been writing a program which is one, and that program has been having only a function. But now we want to change and start writing programs that uses what we call classes. And the classes are actually a way of impressing inheritance. In other words, a program can have several classes, and these classes can be doing different work, and these classes can be communicated be communicating to each other to actually accomplish a task in a given scenario. And I want you to know that any program written in object-oriented programming uses several classes to accomplish it. Again, the question comes in, Mwalim, what are these classes you are talking about? And how can I write a program using them as a programmer or as a learner at the moment? Don't worry about that. We shall be moving to that level, and you will be actually at the end of this lesson or a topic, you'll be comfortably be writing programs that are using classes and effecting them and actually mastering that concept. So again, the second point there, one superclass can be used for a number of subclasses in hierarchy. Now, these are technical terms that we have just mentioned. Superclass, and I'm sure you're wondering, Malim, what is a superclass? Writing a program in C++, uh, using classes, there must be a class that controls other classes. And that class is where we are going to put variables in. And the other classes that will come after, they can be able to actually refer to that class to get the variables. Hence, the superclass in this case is the one that will be communicating to the subclasses and giving them orders. I'm sure again you are wondering. And for me to unfold this very well, allow me to, although it's not okay to go further, I don't like going to deep, very complicated things before you get, but because of the purpose of you understanding what is a superclass, allow me to go direct to a particular code to enable you get this particular statement, because I'm just trying to unfold these advantages for you so that you don't just write them for exam and then you pass but you cannot explain. So allow me to go ahead and be able to make you understand the meaning of a superclass and the subclasses using code which already I'll explain later, but for now is only I'm using it to make you understand this statement number 2 in these advantages of inheritance. Let me go ahead and be able to give you the meaning of that in a particular code. All this we are going to learn, but allow me to show you this particular concept. Yeah, I'll use a code. I believe it's here somewhere. I want to, yeah, this one here. I hope all of you are seeing. So I'll be coming back to it, but allow me to explain the meaning of a superclass. When writing a program with classes, you can see we bring in classes into our program using a keyword class. In this program you're looking at, the word class tells the compiler that there is a class which is going to be formed and its name is called value. A class must have also an opening and a curly bracket with a semicolon that I'll explain later. So in this class we have what we call variables. Like now we have variable 1 and a variable 2, which are actually integers in the public sector of that class. Don't worry, I'll explain. So this becomes a superclass. So class add, which comes after the class value, is a subclass. So we are not supposed to continue declaring variables here. We simply want to inherit them from a particular class. For example, this is a subclass which can inherit the variables from the class called value. So for us to inherit, we'll have to have a syntax that class add will inherit from value on the public sector. So in simple terms, which I'll be talking about later, here we are saying class add full colon public value. We are saying please inherit anything that is on the public sector of the value. Hence, these particular variables called value 1 and value 2 will be inherited in class add because of this syntax, and class add is a subclass and class value is a superclass. Please don't worry. I just want to explain what I meant in our example up here when we were talking about advantages of inheritance. And indeed, by now, I'm sure you are somehow getting the meaning of this. One superclass can be used for the number of classes in hierarchy. Once, so in that example I've shown you the superclass value as variables value 1 and 2, which can be used by other superclasses through inheritance. That's an advantage. Never mind, I'm sure you are still wondering, but I'm trying to enable you get this concept. Now, another point of the advantage is that no changes be done in all base classes, just do changes in the parent class only. All right. Again, I want to mention this. If I have value 1 and value 2 in superclass value, I don't need to change that in a subclass add. I'll only change it in the superclass value, and those variables will be inherited. That's the meaning. So normally this is an advantage because you don't need on to keep having variables in different subclasses. You only have to change in your superclass. Then the other thing, inheritance is used to generate more dominant objects. Very good, a very good point. Brothers and sisters, objects here are variables. If you declare variables in the superclass, they become dominant and they can be used in all classes, meaning that you don't need to have classes in a class add. You don't need to have variables in class subtract. You only have them somewhere in a superclass and they can be inherited, and they are dominant variables. Remember again, objects here, we can refer them as actually variables that they can be used. The other good point is that inheritance avoid what we call duplicity or data redundancy, meaning very good point. If you declare variables in a superclass, you don't need to be repeating them in the subclasses. They'll only be declared above there in the superclass, and they can be used in the other subsequent subclasses by means of inheritance. So please, that's a very good point to be noting again. Inheritance is used to avoid space complexity and time complexity. Very good. Remember, when your program is running, is using what we call the system resource. One of the system resources that is normally used by a program is what we call the RAM. The RAM, or what you call the main memory. Now, a program that is written in inheritance is small. It does not have a lot of what we call the code statements because of inheritance. So it will take a small space during program execution in the computer RAM. And because it's taking small space, it can also be executed by the CPU at a very adequate speed, meaning that that program can run fast and efficient, and hence it can give us good result. So this statement that inheritance is used to avoid space complexity and time complexity, we are referring to that the program written in C++ that as inheritance, it uses small space in terms of RAM and is executed at a faster speed by the central processing unit. Therefore, the program is said to be efficient in terms of CPU and RAM utilization, hence giving you faster results. And that's why Java and the C++ are used in developing of systems nowadays. I have tried to explain these advantages. Kindly, I'm requesting you to just take about 2 minutes. Oh, you are going for another class. Can I know what you're going for another class? I wanted again. I can't leave this. I cannot leave this particular slide until you really understand these advantages as we proceed at 2 p.m. Oh, now time is not on our side. All right, class. I believe that I'm starting something that is. I'm sure at the end of the day you are going to get the concept very clearly. At the beginning, it might look complex, but there's no complex here. Everything is very easy for you, and it will be explained. Each and every slide will be explained very well. And I know at the end of the day, you will be able to write programs that uses innate things, and you will be able to actually be happy because you have mastered that concept. Now, allow me to ask: are you free on Thursday? Class, are you free on Thursdays? Because I want to make a recap class for you, and see whether we can do a lot of recaps. Class, are you free on Thursdays? Kindly let me know from the class rep. Let me know from the class rep whether you are free on Thursdays. Can one of you communicate? All right. Maraga, are you free on Thursdays?
Concerning concerning for the DIT students,
Yes.
we are supposed to have a class from
On Thursday.
morning to 2. We don't have any class, but that's for the DIT students. But specifically for other DCS, DPIT, I don't know on their own.
Okay, very well. Now the DPIT and the DCS, they should actually also confirm so that we can still have 1 hour.
Maybe a representative from
Sorry?
a representative from
Yeah,
maybe a
DPIT.
representative from and to confirm.
Yeah, please do. If you belong to DBIT and the DCS, kindly confirm whether you can have time on Thursday. We'll arrange for another class. I'll really appreciate for that time. We know you're coming in. We know, can you speak? Hey, we know. Don't mute your mic, kindly. Okay. And confirm. All right. Okay. All right. All right. I can see the PIT does Atieno very well. Confirm DCIs. Confirm also. DCS confirm. Anybody from DCS? Or we just confirming? Good. Oh, we know you're typing. I can. Okay. All right. Whether we are going to have a class on Thursday. A class on Thursday from 2.
Excuse me, Malim.
Yes.
Not from 2. Maybe from the morning hours up to 2, because from 2 to 5 we have another class.
Okay.
So maybe from
All right. All right. Okay, I can see that.
From the morning to 2.
Okay. Even we have and the PIT will be having a class from 11. That means we can only have from 9 to. Let's have from 9 to 11. Will that be okay?
Yes, from 11 to 2 you have a class.
Okay. So I think we can have from 9 to 11.
9 to 11 is okay.
And Narasha is typing. I'm sure maybe I've touched his time. 9 to 11. Haha. 9 to 11, 9 to 11. Okay, I think that's fine. So can we say that at least we have not wasted our time? We have learned something. We have learned switch statement, and we have started understanding inheritance. Can we say that this is what we have done this afternoon, and we can stop here for today? Will that be fine? All right. Oh yeah, Window is confirming kindly. I always like the feedback from all of you. They enable me to know where you are. Richard confirmed yes. That's okay. Anne is also confirming. Please kindly yes. Anne is okay. And Doreen, Grace, Teddy, yeah. Nasim is okay. All right, Doreen. Awin confirmed earlier on. Richard, right. Fine, Naresha, that's okay. Uh, uh, no problem. We have agreed that inheritance will repeat it tomorrow on Thursday. In fact, we have not done anything on inheritance. We are just starting, so don't worry, Betty. We are just starting. We are just on board. Thank you for your time. I want to wish you a good afternoon. You are ready for your next class. Let's meet next time. God willing. Bye for now. Thank you. See you next time. All right. Bye. See you next time.